Eddie has been well for us. I think he's given us an inside presence. I think obviously being able to score around the basket, but he rebounds the ball well. He passes the well. High IQ, great team guy. His leadership has been off the charts. He's been consistent. I love his energy and his the way he's all about the team. So I expect a lot out of him. I think everyone will be excited to watch him play. He competes at a high level. He competes to win.
My name is Stacy Carter II. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
With teams like Stanford and Cal coming into the ACC, how does that change things as far as preparation for the team?
Well, I think it's just obviously it's a team on programs that we got to get used to, accustomed to, coaching styles, personnel. But I think it's just something that it's just another couple of programs that you got to get prepared for. Obviously, those three programs are great basketball programs. They got great coaches. Again, no one knows anything, so the predictions don't mean anything. I just know that those are all three good programs and with three good coaches.
Brandon, you're number two. What did you learn about yourself from your number one that you're trying to carry over to your number two and moving forward?
Well, I don't know if we have enough time for me to answer that, but no, I learned a lot. I think the biggest thing is really kind of shaping and really kind of having stronger convictions on my whys, and that's really a general. It's general, and my whys as far as my convictions. It can go from things on the court, off the court, just being able to be more convinced of certain things that I want moving forward, for the program. I think I just, some things that I valued higher went a little bit lower. Some things that I thought were lower went a little bit higher.
What is that one?
I think, again, just having more of a clearer view of what I want the program, and a lot of it is really outside the program and things that we need to do, the things we need to work on. Little things down to just how we travel, things like that. As far as do I implement dress codes? Do I don't? Just things like that. Again, a lot of it, and then obviously from a talent acquisition, really. With the transfer portal, when you have guys returning, when you get those commitments, how do you build that? And how do you support that? Because I think in today's world, when you have returners and retention, I think you want to be able to obviously try to reward that and build around that and not build over that, if that makes sense. And I thought, those are the things as I went through the process that I learned in year two.
Coach Leo Schaefer from Newshouse. First off, absolute pleasure to talk to you. Second, last year the majority of the bench wasn't used that much in some games. Do you expect to distribute more minutes to some of your guys who don't start or aren't expected to get that much playing time to begin with this year?
Yeah, that's that's always the plan. I think this year this roster is deeper, but again, last year's roster was deeper. But sometimes injuries happen. You just never know what's going to happen as far as that. And I thought last year we got hit with the injury bug. We lost Naheem early. Monir at that time, he couldn't really practice for us. So we had some injuries, and this year, we have, 11, 12 guys that as of right now are healthy. And, for us to be successful, we have to play more guys. This is a very balanced team, a very competitive team. I think that the strength of this team will be in how many guys we can play.
Thank you, sir.
You spoke to those injuries with Naeem and, of course, with Chance Westry last year. What are those two guys to have fully healthy? How's that going to build your program this season?
I mean, those are huge additions. Naheem, he started practicing back a little bit in July, and it was limited, obviously, with the foot issues. But in the last month or so, he's been full go. He's really rounding himself back into shape, and that's a big plus for us. He's a guy that obviously, he's big, but he can move. He can do some things that will help us. And Chance is, again, I thought he was playing his best basketball towards the end of the summer. Again, a guy that can play multiple positions, that can pass the ball. He's improved, and he's still working on his shot. And I think that was the biggest thing that he needed to work on, coming from Auburn here, was improving his outside shot. And I think he's done that. So, again, having those two guys back healthy, is going to be a huge addition for us. I expect my expectations for him is like all of our guys to come in and play hard as you can and give me what you can. But Jair's a guy that is he's a tough cover because he can play bigger guys, he can play against smaller guys. His 3-point numbers may not show that, but that's one of the biggest things that he's improved since he's been here, and especially since we've been practicing his outside shot. But he's a guy that can score around the basket. He can rebound the ball. A guy that's versatile. But he's really good in the mid-range, but he's improved his outside shooting and his leadership. He's an older guy. He's been at this level. And now he's back at this level. And I think the greatest thing about all the new guys that we brought in, they all were willing to make a sacrifice and buy into what we're trying to accomplish here. And I think that's the biggest compliment, that's what makes me really excited about these guys, because all these guys, he was a 17-point scorer. He knows he's not going to average 17 this year, but he's willing to come in and do what he needs to do, and I think he'll be a great help for us.
Red, what does it say about college basketball when somebody like Tony Bennett says, "That's it for me"?
It's an interesting question because Tony and obviously those coaches, they have experience of what college was, and now it's a big change and it's a different change. And again, I don't want to speculate, about why he stepped away. You read, but again, I think it's just a change. It's a change, and change is hard. Change is difficult. Change is, everyone has to get used to it. And I just think, I don't know if that's 100% it, but, the change is, to be able to coach a certain way and have success a certain way and to be able to recruit and attract and maintain talent. And now, with all the new rules, I'm sure it had to, it probably changed the way he coached or the way he, thought about things. And most older coaches, for me, I came into it like this as a head coach. So, this is the job that I have, and so I have to either, get with it or lose my job.
Red, the 4 transfers you brought in, they're all older guys, seniors or grad students. They had big roles where they were before. I was wondering how they've kind of assimilated themselves into the team fabric here, or are they becoming leaders here?
They've been great. I think they have. Again, guys that have been in college, 4 and 5 years, they've been through some wars, and they know this is an opportunity for them, and they are happy, and they want to be here as much as we wanted them here. But they have, these guys are all mature. They have a good, IQ for the game. They understand, what it takes to be successful on and off the court. Their maturity and their togetherness has been, a really good surprise. We started in July, and I've seen these guys. We've done things off the court. We've tried to really make that happen, make that connection happen, and they've done a really good job of gelling.
Coach, how has Donnie Freeman adjusted to the physicality of college basketball, especially going up in practice against experienced guys like Naheem and Jair and Eddie?
It depends on what day. It depends on who's guarding him that day. Donnie is a unique talent in that, he can move, he can bang. So it depends on the matchup of the day. Typically, sometimes when he gets matched up with Eddie or Jair, it depends. But the physical, it could be more physical that day. But Donnie is very talented. He's really kind of figured out how to use his abilities against different matchups so far in our gym. So, but he's a kid a young man that is battling. He's not scared. He wants to do well, and he's never going to quit. So, I've been impressed with that, like being able to respond to mistakes, be able to respond to things, and kind of get right back to it. He's a willing learner, and he's receptive to that. So that's what I've been impressed with.
Greg, you referenced, I think, doing some things different things to try to build chemistry. What sort of things did you try that were maybe new this season?
Yeah, last summer it was, all I could think about was, I was making changes in style of play, making changes, and I was really, I just wanted us to be prepared for that, and I knew it was going to take some adjustments. So we did a lot of stuff just literally in the gym. This year, we took some time away. We had a trip down to New York. We had a softball game. Just different things like that. Bowling one time. So different things like that. Just to get outside the gym and just kind of relax and just be around each other. Last year I didn't have a chance to do that. I was just so focused on trying to, obviously making changes, and a lot of the guys that we had that came return last year with that freshman class, and so it was really, we were changing, styles. So I really wanted to try to do as best as possible to get them prepared for what we wanted to do.
Yeah, another great freshman you brought in was Elijah Moore. Just how do you hope to utilize his elite shooting ability and also develop the rest of his game?
Elijah's been great. He's improved. I think the biggest improvement, that Elijah has made is, like you said, we know that he can shoot, but the biggest improvement that he's made has been on the defensive end, and he still has ways to go, but that's typical for freshmen. What I love about Elijah as well is that he's a tough kid, tough young man, and he tries and he wants to be good, but he's a guy that he's gotten better. We've put him with the ball in his hand to work on his decision making, to work on his ball handling, and he's done a really good job with that. He's a guy that's here every day in the gym all the time, always trying to improve, and that's not just him, but mostly our whole team is like that.
With new transfer Eddie Lampkin as your projected starter and Naheem McLeod back as the backup, does your plan of attack from last year in the paint on both sides of the ball change, especially with tough matchups coming up ahead, like the Cooper Flag and Malik Brown Duke duo?
Well, I'm not thinking about Malik or Cooper. I don't know who says, I don't know what the projections are. But Eddie, obviously, when you have someone like Eddie who can score in the post, you got it, yes. So you do have to go inside. Last year, we were not able to go inside as much as we wanted. This year, I think we do have that because Eddie can provide low post scoring. Jair can provide low post scoring, and Donnie Freeman as well. So yes, we will get the ball inside and try to get the ball inside a little bit more than we did last year, just because we have the guys that can do it. So with Eddie, I don't know if it changes everything, but do we have more options? Absolutely. I think we can score. Inside, I think we can get to the rim. I think we can shoot. With the roster that we put together this year, I thought we wanted to address a lot of those issues. One of the issues is we wanted to be able to score and get some inside presence around the basket.
Coach, how does having a true point guard, true pass-first point guard like JC help your guys on the wing, like Chris Bell and JJ and Elijah, kind of get more of their shots up on the perimeter? And are you planning on running some more actions to get them moving off the ball, both for shots and for cuts?
Well, I think having someone like JC that has exceptional vision, looks to give people the ball, I think it'll benefit obviously those guys, but it just benefits our team. Where the one thing about JC is he'll get the ball to those guys in timing, right when they need it, right when they're ready to shoot, whether it's in transition, whether it's a breakdown. He's an exceptional passer, but I think he's really, the whole team benefits from it. Not just certain guys, but I'm sure it would help. I think it'll help Chris or Lucas or whoever it is get some more shots just because of the timing. But also guys like Eddie, people he can screen. He knows how to get people open. Donnie is learning that. Jair is learning that, how to get people open, not just with the pass, by screening. And those are the things that I've seen so far this summer. So, but having JC, I think it helps the whole team.
Coach, you spoke about Donnie earlier. Obviously, played with the Bahamas national team this summer. What do you think that experience, kind of playing against pros every day, kind of did for him this season?
I think he had a chance to sit with some guys and play, and obviously, I think he wanted to play a little bit more. But to learn, to learn how and to watch how pros work, what their routine is. I think, the one thing that he took from that was just the preparation piece of it, how hard those guys work and how they prepare and the movement and things like that, and, and how hard they work on their craft. I think that was, he got a small glimpse of what that looks like, playing on that Bahamian national team.
Coach, how has JJ looked in his second full year with the team? Last year coming in, transferring from Notre Dame and battling some injuries during his time at Notre Dame. How's he looked building up to his second year with you?
He's been great. JJ's been great. I think the one thing is he's got himself in tremendous shape. I thought he had a great summer. Playing multiple positions. Shooting the basketball like we know he can. Like he finished up the end of this the end of the season last year, making reads. So JJ's, he's had a really good summer. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for him to really kind of, break out and have that big year that I think everyone expects. And this team needs it. We need him to play well this year for us to kind of, be in the hunt for anything that we want to do. But he had a great summer.
I don't know how much you're paying attention to it, but were you surprised not to see him on the preseason All-ACC team?
Not really. When it comes to those things, you just never know. And again, I thought we had a good year. I thought he had a good year. I thought he played his best basketball in conference play. But I can't really. Who knows? Who knows?
Got time for two more.
Coach, year two for you, obviously, and brought in a lot of players and a lot of talent. How do you get back to the tournament? Simply, how do you get back to the tournament? How do you utilize your players and the talent that you brought in and all of the things that you said you wanted to change within yourself, within the program, outside of the program? How do all of those things help you get back to the tournament?
Well, I know the one thing that I know how to get back to the tournament, and that's win enough games. I do know that, right? So we got to do a better job of that. I thought last year, I thought it was 3 or 4 games that I think we could have secured those. I think we would have been more in play than what people would have thought. I really think that. We would have made it, I don't know, but I think we'd have been close. But I think we got to win games. I think you can, Ken Palm, all this stuff. You got to win games, and you got to win non-conference games, and you got to schedule teams, and you got to give your team a chance. And I think we've done that with our non-conference. We got some great non-conference opponents, and we have to win. We have to win some of those games, if not all, and then go and win in conference, because I do believe this conference is loaded this year. There's no doubt about it. I think everybody will see that this year. By the time January hits, I just feel like when I look over it and I look at these rosters in our conference, this conference is no joke. And I think the narrative will change this year. But the short answer is you got to win games, and you got to win the right games, and you got to win enough games. For winning, you just got to win.
On your staff, you lose Jerry McNamara, you bring in Coach Engelstad. What did you lose in Jerry, and what are you getting in Coach Davis?
Well, I lost a close friend, first and foremost. Obviously, a bright mind, a great coach. He's going to do great things at Siena. We're bringing in, someone like Dan Engelstad with his experience, obviously a great coach, great mind, great motivator, great teacher, person that is selfless, that cares about the program. He's all about the program, and that's what we brought in. I'm just excited to have him here. Feel very fortunate to be able to have someone like Coach Engelstad on our staff, and I think our players love him. I think he will make his mark and his imprint in this program, within what we do. So I'm just happy that we have him.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.